For some reason, semicolons can not only be confusing, but intimidating. They even look a bit strange, partly like a comma, but also partly like a colon, or like a comma with a period floating above it. But rather than let this somewhat unusual appearance dismay us, we can use it to help us remember what a semicolon does. Of the 5 uses of the semicolon that Marie describes in her lesson, the one that's meant the most to me as a writer is the first, to join the clauses of a compound sentence. Now, if you haven't yet had a chance to take Marie's basic cozy grammar course, you might not be so sure what a compound sentence actually is. So here's an even easier way to think about it. Semicolons help us when we have 2 sentences that we want to show are closely connected. For example, we didn't have much rain this year. The water is low. Notice how here we have 2 sentences which are closely connected. If we wanted to show this connection more closely on the page, we could use a semicolon instead of a period. We didn't have much rain this year, semicolon. The water is low, period. In other words, the semicolon shows a pause in thought, which is smaller than a period. At the same time, it shows a pause in thought which is larger than a comma. In fact, we can't even use a comma to join these 2 sentences. We didn't have much rain this year, comma, the water is low, is an incorrect usage. It's what grammarians call a comma splice. To join 2 sentences with a comma, we also need to use a conjunction or a joining word, such as and. We didn't have much rain this year, comma, and the water is low. If you don't want to use a comma in a conjunction, what you want is a semicolon. We didn't have much rain this year, semicolon, the water is low. Since a semicolon shows a pause in thought, which is larger than a comma, but smaller than a period, we can use the presence of that comma and that floating period in the semicolon to remind us of this fact. It's as if the mark itself is showing us how to use it.